Hello, it is December 22nd. Yes, it's December 22nd of 2024. This is hopefully going to be a relatively short video because I don't have anything to hold the phone in my car. So it's just my arms. So I'm going to be switching every now and then. I went to a place that I really like, and I wanted to show the back because it has the city, but you can't see it. So anyways, I have been inspired this year by a lot of people. One of them being amazing, wonderful, fantastic woman, young lady, Alexis Morgan. If you guys don't know her, look her up, Alexis Morgan. She's in Sub 2. That's where her and I met. We met in this real estate community, which is called Sub 2. And she's just freaking killing it. And anyways, after seeing her, I think like 3 or 4 months ago, start posting life updates, and she was saying how it's really interesting to her to post updates so that she can reflect upon it, or reflect back upon them in the future and just see, oh wow, that's where I was and that's what I was thinking at this time, and look at where I am now and let's see the difference. I thought that was cool, and I would like to start doing that. So I think this video, I'm also doing this just so that I can practice talking to the camera. So I don't know exactly how much I should disclose. Like, I'm, all these different things of, anyways, so this is me. I am definitely still growing in confidence in myself and in what I'm doing and who I am and what I want to do. I like Christmassy things, and I like dressing up for stuff, and this is just going to be a super side tangent, and then we're going to go into, I just want to reflect on my 2024 so that I have it. If anybody wants to watch this, probably my mom, you know where I am at too. But one thing that I just want to throw out there as well is I'm not too sure exactly how professional I'm supposed to be, at least I think like on social media. I definitely want to be authentic, and I sometimes if I say certain words, I feel like they're buzzwords that a lot of people are using. So hopefully it doesn't sound like that. But again, I like dressing up. I like doing silly things sometimes, not all the time. And so I questioned many times right before this whether I should take the headband off or not. So I'm leaving it on. This is me. Yes. Okay. So let's reflect on my 2024. There are a ton of things that have happened, and I know I'm going to be making videos on specific things, but full recap of 2024. So interesting, very, very interesting year for me. I lived in Houston for the first, I believe, quarter, essentially, of this year, and I haven't. The only time I've lived away from home that long was when I was studying abroad in Korea. So that was really a new experience. And what was cool about that as well was I was still in America, obviously. But it felt still comfortable because I could talk, I could speak English with everybody that I met there, which is really nice, which I can't even do where I live now because there's people that almost only, like, exclusively speak Spanish, which is kind of frustrating at times because then you can't communicate. But it was interesting just to be in a new place and have that feeling of just new and not super comfortable, but it's nice to have been out of that comfort zone of my home and know that I'm not going to die. because now I feel like, oh, okay, I'm okay. I know, at least some of the things that Houston has to offer, Texas, or multiple places. I've traveled a lot throughout the last year. But I feel like because of that travel, I am grateful because I get reinforced every time that I am capable. Essentially, I know that I can find grocery stores. I know that I can meet new people and just chat with people no matter where I am. And that was something that I actually really appreciate both of my parents teaching me when I was growing up. My mom is just a huge chatterbox, and my dad was the person that specifically would mention, hey, it's a good idea to try to just create small talk at times. So if you're in line at the grocery store, or wherever you may be, if you're waiting at the bus stop and there's somebody else there, just chat every once in a while. It doesn't have to be a huge deep conversation, but it gets you comfortable and familiar, at least, with talking to people, and just creating conversation. And that has helped a lot. It's helped because I'm getting I think I'm getting better practice at just talking to people, obviously, but the openers that I've done have gotten a little smoother rather than, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. Hi, I'm Jada. I've gotten into different things, and yeah, I've just had a lot of practice of creating small talk, which eventually, the more that I ask questions, the better I am at asking more open-ended questions rather than yes or no. And from those open-ended questions, I get a better sense of who I'm talking to, and if they start, they'll drop some nuggets here and there, and I'll kind of catch on to them and go a little more in depth, or go into a little deeper questions. Not deeper, but I would say like more fun. So sometimes people will if we're at the bus stop or whatever it may be, I can ask, where are you off to? And, oh, I'm going to my mom's, or whatever it may be. And then and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, are you close to your mom? Or all those different things. Anyways, more let's just go with an example. So I was at a friend's brunch, and I started talking to somebody, and I was asking them, what do you do? And she was saying, oh, I'm a hairstylist, but I mostly do men's hair. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. So I started going into, does that mean that you're your own business owner? Because I know that some barbers and some hair stylists, that they essentially rent their space, but they're in charge of their own marketing and all these different things, which I didn't know until this last year. And so it was really nice to go into that, because since I'm in the entrepreneurial space, it's super exciting to me. And so it's nice to be able to catch on to those little things and start fleshing out more and more and having more fun and lively conversation. So that was just some interesting things that I learned from Houston. I have some notes over here if you see me looking down. Like I said, I traveled a ton. I learned I also learned about what types of events I want to spend my time at and which I do not. I feel like, though, I would say every event that I've attended, I feel has been worth it this year. I feel like I'm still, and I think everybody, like, when you go to conferences, you're not only seeing the same people. There's always more connections to be made and relationships to be had. And so I feel like if I really thought about it, I can think of at least one good connection that I made at every event that I've attended. And that's really nice to say. I've joined more communities outside of Sub 2, and those communities have been very useful, and I was putting this together the other day, where I think I was trying to think about, okay, what buckets do I have right now? Like, what am I'm posting content, or I'm doing lending, and I'm doing specific types of lending, and what are all the fields that I'm working in right now, and how are they all going to come together, or what's the point of all of them? Where specifically do I see myself going? And for me, I think I put too much pressure on thinking ahead or being creative. And so I'm putting a little, I'm giving myself some grace when it comes to some of those things right now. I have made this so much longer than intended. So we're going to go only a couple more minutes. But anyways, I'm getting more okay with saying, I don't know what my North Star is. I don't know exactly what I want to do in the next 10 years, but my initial plan right now, I have an idea of that. And that just came from, okay, what am I doing right now? And what is that going to lead to? So I saw, okay, I'm lending, and I'm learning about DSCR loans and hard money loans and private money loans. And I am in certain communities where it's really easy and really beneficial for me to make connections, because a lot of people are wanting to invest, but they just don't have the time. And I have the time and the opportunities. And so that has been a real big plus, having joined those communities, because now I'm seeing the connections that can be made. So, okay, great. These people want to invest. I've already raised some capital in there, and we've started deploying it. So that's been really fun. And so I can see, okay, I can be a capital raiser. And then at the same time, I'm also really learning how to, again, utilize all the hard money and DSCR lenders. And I'm learning marketing on top of that. So with, learning marketing has come from content that I'm posting, like videos like this, or has come from posts that I'm making on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it may be. And with all those different things, I see me lending more, maybe buying some investment properties, with that, getting lines of credit and learning how to become bankable. And I was not thinking like that just earlier this year, which is it's just been fascinating to look back on. And it was this like epiphany moment that happened to me about 2 weeks ago, where I was drawing things out, because in my mind, it's so difficult to think, okay, where am I going to go? What's my North Star? It's too big. I want things visually written down. And I think that writing all of that and having that epiphany, like, oh, okay, this is blah, 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 blah. And that's how you become bankable, at least somewhat. I know that it's just vague, and I'll still learn more. But yes, visual person. All right, next on the docket that I want to say is, I grew a lot of friendships and business relationships, which has been really nice. And it's a lot of new friendships, essentially, from this year. A couple people I met last year, but it was really, I think, when I moved to Houston that I started being, I just started hanging out with a lot of different types of people. And it's been nice. Like Brad Lewis, love him. He's awesome. We kept going to the same conferences in Dallas, and we were both in Houston at the time, and we were working on the same team. So we just kept road tripping and having really fun conversations and brainstorming a lot. And so now we just talk a lot. We talk a lot, and we're brainstorming a lot of different things together. And it's nice to have somebody to do that with. And I would love to do that with more people. I just don't know yet how to be comfortable enough to do so. And actually, I was talking to Rosie Noel about this the other day, about being comfortable and opening up to people. And not like opening up as in being a therapist or about my feelings or whatever, but it's just opening up to feel comfortable brainstorming and just letting people hear, letting people hear my ideas. Like I said earlier, I had this thing where I felt like, oh, I'm not the creative one. And so that really stifled me. And I was stifling myself, and I don't know why I kept thinking about that. And so more and more, the more that I write down, the more ideas come to mind. And it's nice to have had that time with Brad, even though he was mostly talking, because he just doesn't ever stop talking. But it's great. I love people like that. So it's nice to have people like Brad or my mom or even my dad, and people like Rosie and Isa Fidelino, like all these different people. I've had the time that we've hung out, it's been really impactful for me and has allowed me to really feel like I can trust them somewhat, at least not to, or maybe not to, but I feel like I can trust them enough to know that they want my growth and that they're really rooting for my growth rather than anything else. And I think me saying that right now is me really realizing that I think all those people are good friends, and there's no part of them that I feel that is at all envious of whatever opportunities come my way. I feel like a lot of people, or a lot of those that I mentioned, and a lot more people that it's just going to take too much time to list everybody. But I feel like they're good, and they're good for me, and they really like want the best for me, and it's really cool to be around people like that. Next thing, oh my god, there's so many things. You know, I'm just gonna cut it here because it's like 16 minutes. So this is not the last video of the year, I guess. I'm going to post another one. I'm going to post this today, Sunday, I think December 22nd. Yes. And hold me to it if anybody's watching this, but I'm going to post my next one on Tuesday. Oh, wait, this week's Christmas. Okay, perfect. We're good. I thought this coming week was New Year's Eve. It's not. Great. I'm not going to say I'm going to post every this day. I'm just going to post weekly. I'm going to post updates, and they will be more succinct than this. I wrote notes, but I will stick to the notes a little more as we continue. So, I'm going to post this today. Thank you for this quick, not quick recap of some of my 2024. And I will see you a little later this week.